Today, I will be informing you all about the origins of a concept that has been making a resurgence in pop culture over the past 2 decades. I will be identifying the mythological origins of the wild hunt, the varying depictions of this hunt throughout various regions, and finally, the likely real sources of the myth. But what is the wild hunt? Politely, it is a procession of dead souls that help or harm mortals based entirely on the mood of its leader. Informally, it is a ghost tornado of unhallowed souls. Mortals who are caught by the hunt disappear, and those who outfox it or trick it and get away from it are rewarded with gold by the huntmaster. Why is this relevant, though? How is this showing up in pop culture? The Wild Hunt has appeared in or inspired the following fictional works: The Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt; Ghost Rider, sections of Thor comics, sections of Hellboy comics; Dungeons and Dragons, The Elder Scrolls, The Dresden Files by Jim Butcher, and The Headless Horseman. While The Headless Horseman is fairly dated, it's such a popular figure even now that I feel it appropriate to bring him up. Mythological origins. Being a Germanic area myth, it, like all other Germanic area myths, leads back to Odin. Odin was famous for leading a ghostly army called the Einherjar. And regarding that group's activities, history today has said that the Einherjar were accompanied by Odin's ravens, the menacing throng sweeping through forest and air in whole companies with a horrible din, all in search of mortals who, having failed to find a hiding place from the celestial hunting party, are abducted as prey and taken to the underworld. Din is a strange word, I'll give you that. It just means loud, unpleasant, prolonged noise. But there is a reason why the Wild Hunt is considered to be unhallowed rather than just heathen. And this is because of the differences between the depictions of Norse and Christian afterlives. As Christianity rose in prominence, hearing the screams in the dead of night outside stopped meaning, oh, Odin's Einherjar are partying outside, I should probably leave them to it, and changed to be, oh, those are the ghosts of souls who haven't passed on to heaven. My, how evil. And so it gained the idea that it was unhallowed. Jacob Grimm puts it best in his 1882 Teutonic mythology book. As the Christian God has not made them his, they must fall due to the old heathen one. Regionally, this gets more pronounced. In France, the hunt is made up of demons and led by the demon Harlequin, the whole hunt being called Familia Harlequin. Harlequin, the leader of that hunt, was later turned into the archetype for Harley Quinn. In modern America, the Wild Hunt has been distilled down to the singular entity of the Ghost Rider, the bounty hunter of Lucifer who captures wicked souls and returns them to hell. In Scandinavia, this ghost tornado is just called Odin's Hunt, which is entirely self-explanatory. In Old English, the hunt is called the Herlathing or Herla's Assembly. Herla was an old English Bretonian king who was cursed to never be able to get off his horse or he would age 300 years in an instant. In Middle to Modern English, the Wild Hunt is led by Herne the Hunter. And according to Encyclopedia Britannica, he is said to ride at night, especially during storms. He wears horns, rattles chains, blasts trees and cattle, and occasionally appears before mortals. Now, most of this is entirely explainable due to the real events occurring around the area. Nighttime violent storms created loud cacophonies at night that caused superstitious medieval peasants to think, okay, the sky is haunted tonight. Loud winds blowing through the forested areas gave the idea that this haunting was taking place in the forest where most of the hunting was done. So they became a hunt rather than just sky ghosts. And finally, the reason that the wild hunt is mostly depicted as being active during the winter is because of the migration of the dark-bellied Brent goose, which breed in northern Russia and then migrate to southern and eastern Britain, England, for winter. And thank you to the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds for the migratory patterns for that bit of information. In conclusion, the origins of the wild hunt are found mythologically in Odin, realistically in violent nighttime storms and migratory birds, and was depicted throughout the world as an army of unhallowed souls with various goals and methods. These are the reasons that the wild hunt is shown as it is in pop culture, as a force that does good or ill based entirely upon the whims of its leader.